Greetings. Welcome to another section of Keep the Beat with Pete. And today, as I indicated in the sort of intro to this, the post, that we're going to talk about a few fusion elements. Now, over the course of the last year and a half or so, I've posted a number of different videos which you would want to go back and check out to do or to work on, playing progressive jazz slash fusion, progressive rock slash fusion. Fusion, blending world styles, funk, jazz, different styles into one musical expression. Okay, that's how I look at it. And today I'm going to cover some Samba ideas, an easy way to add to your Samba ideas without having to work a lot. And then, of course, in jazz, jazz fusion, the Samba appears, but it doesn't always appear exactly as it would in a traditional Brazilian piece. So you need to have that fundamental in order to fuse it with the piece of music that's going to be played. So we'll work on that. But some of the other videos that I did put out that would be helpful are roughs, rolls, and drags. Why? Because in fusion music, there's a lot of 30-second notes. There's a lot of triplet, 16th note triplets. There's a lot of fast note runs. So Table of Time we had put out, you can go back and check that one out. Roughs, rolls, and drags, triplet ideas. And in the future, I'll be putting some other ones out that will really be helpful. We'll work on 30-second notes. We'll work on things between the hi-hat and snare. But some of those older videos that I put out there would be good to go back and review because they're all elements of fusion. So anyway, that takes care of that. So now the Samba. Okay, the basic Samba beat, as we know, we're going to have the so 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Right? Okay, so then they played at different tempos, or maybe I'll shut the snare drum off. Okay, so you go along with the music, you fill in that left hand that way. Some drummers are going to be playing this. You'll see that they play it that way. Okay, but a lot of us are playing the time. Okay, so there's a lot of good sources on this. Chuck Silverman's Afro-Caribbean beats, Practical Applications is a classic, I think, but for all of this stuff. Mambo, Samba, Bossa Nova. He has a lot of great ideas, a lot of history, and a lot of background on the origins and development of these rhythms. And so it's an excellent source. Tommy Igoe in his Groove book has Samba in there, and Bio and so forth, so you can look at those. And then, of course, listen to the music. So how else can we add to it? Well, you could take Ted Reed and page 37, 38, 39, or 38, 39, 40 now in the newer editions. And where you used to play the jazz comping, you could use that to put your Samba beats in. And, of course, good old stick control. Easy to use because you have, just play the lefts, and then eventually you could do the same thing by extracting all the right hands. So Okay? And you get a good workout for your left hand, or if you're a left-handed drummer, you're going to get a workout for your right hand, because some of these figures, you know. And, you know. All right, so you can take these ideas, and they're right at the, you know, your fingertips. Because like in Ted Reed, a lot of the figures would be like 1 E and a 2 E, so 1 and 2 and 3, or 1. Stick control, easy to memorize these lines, because I mean they're really permutations, really. They're just moving things around, and once you get them embedded into your muscle memory, then you just start breaking them out as you need them to work with different parts of the music. So it's really vocabulary expansion. Yeah, there's mechanics. You got to work your wrists and your fingers to get the thing. The other aspect of this is the balance on the set. You know, a lot of times I talked about this way back when we looked at jazz ride cymbal patterns and then jazz comping. The relationship between the cymbal, the bass drum, the snare drum, even if it's the snare drum. Well, in the samba, you got to have a nice bass drum presence. You have to have a good hi-hat. What we don't want to have is, you know, you're not going to crush it with that. You're not going to have digging the pedal into the head. We want to let it ring out. Ba, 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 ba. You can alternate the pedal sound if you wanted to. Sometimes you'll hear that if it goes with the music. So like it's sometimes you'll hear a player, they're going to put the bass drum beater into the head, and then they're going to let it ring out. All these little embellishments. You listen to a lot of Brazilian drummers. The left hand is going really at you know, very advanced speeds. Great rhythmical patterns are coming out of it. And so when you develop it and you play some sambas and bossa novas and play to some of that music, you then learn to adapt it into a jazz fusion setting, a progressive jazz setting, so that the music may not be a pure samba. Before the music changes and flips and all the different progressions stuff. So you listen to a lot of jazz fusion, you'll hear definite elements of the Brazilian, Baja Baio, John Patitucci. You'll hear in 500 Miles High and a lot of that Chick Corea album, the whole Return to Forever, Light as a Feather and all that stuff. You're going to definitely hear those elements in the music. And so, in addition to it, there's a lot of just great samba music out there that is very exciting to play. And in jazz, you hear a lot of jazz samba, and you hear a lot of songs that are in straight ahead jazz. They switch to the samba for a certain number of measures, 4 or 8, and then they're back. So it's very worthwhile to do this. In some subsequent sections, we'll look at the Afro-Caribbean, like the mambo, and we'll look at the 6/8 figures, all the different ways that whole thing has been handled and developed and advanced. You put them all together, and you have fusion. Besides which, our funk clips that we put out a while ago, and then we put some fusion cymbal patterns. Some of the cymbal patterns in that one, you can go back and check it out, were simply the and, or 1, 2, right? There's 1, You'll hear those in a lot of fusion music where they go back and forth. So check that one out, okay? So the bottom line here is you use your permutations like stick controls, maybe even Ted Reed, certain sections for your left hand. Set up a nice samba rhythm. I would start, feeling comfortable. And then, so these rhythms naturally can be orchestrated. You can use brushes to get certain effects also. And as we go through different segments, we'll cover some of that. But for now, get the basic samba, get it going, slow, medium, faster. As I've said in a lot of these videos, slower really is better to really get the dance part of the motion going, and then move it up as the music calls for it, okay? So there it is, one element of fusion, the samba, approach from like a jazz samba style, is something that you want to incorporate into your playing. We had covered some ways to build on it in your vocabulary by using Ted Reed's progressive syncopation, segments of it, and or stick control. Maybe you don't want to do page 5. Maybe you want to do page 6 and 7, where the combinations get a lot different. And turn your snare drum off, leave it on, play different parts of the set so that your ears start hearing the rhythms appear in a lot of different ways. Maybe the same rhythms, 5 different parts of the set, sounds a lot different, okay? Work on your balance between the bass drum and cymbal and hi-hat, and there you have it. You're going to have one of the key elements in progressive jazz, fusion, and jazz samba. So, for you new subscribers, thanks for tuning in. For you subscribers that have been with me for a while, check out some of those old videos more in depth if you haven't, and you really will start putting all these pieces together, and it becomes really a blast to play this, because now You go to a session and, you know, people are calling out certain tunes or certain, give me a certain feel, give me a certain vibe, and you're just going to be picking it right up. Okay, so anyway, enjoy this. I hope you enjoyed, you know, working on it, with, you know, as you go forward. And thanks for watching. Peace out.